saying that she said her nephew goes to one of the Italy high schools, and only by the grace of God he was not killed because a 16-year-old boy at that school shot a 15-year-old girl in the head in Italy, Texas. So commonplace today that it's almost not remarkable. It doesn't make the headlines in the rest of the country. Tens of thousands of people dying this way every year in the United States of America. There's got to be a way. You know, some people respond to this as though it were a natural disaster. Like if a tornado just smashed into Italy, Texas, and you say, you know what, that's terrible. You in Italy, Texas are in our thoughts and prayers, and we hope that you can recover, and let's just hope that doesn't happen again to you. Or like a flood in southeast Texas or a drought in the Panhandle. But these are man-made events. These are human beings. These are people who are doing these things. And I think there is a human solution to this problem. I know there is. I know we're up to it. I know it is not easy. And I think if we have the intellectual honesty to admit that at the beginning of the conversation, we're going to do a better job of listening to each other. But here's some thoughts that I have that could make this better. One is, you may already know this, but the Centers for Disease Control, the CDC, is prohibited by law from even studying gun violence in this country. So when we took tobacco seriously, and you had the Surgeon General remind us all that if you're smoking cigarettes, you're going to get lung cancer and you're going to die. And so fewer people smoked cigarettes and got lung cancer and died, and fewer teenagers are starting smoking in high school. We're saving lives by studying it, having the facts, and making the policy that follows. We will not even allow the United States government to study gun violence so that members of Congress have the facts to begin the basis of a discussion and a debate and the policies that can follow that. We are a country that does not demand universal background checks for every gun owner. No matter who they are, we want to make sure that you don't have a propensity for violence, for self-harm, for suicidal ideation, that you're not going to use that gun to murder somebody in your family or to take your own life. We are a country that put AR-15s into the hands of men and some women in Vietnam to kill people, because that's what they were designed to do, as effectively and efficiently as possible. When you listen to doctors, they'll tell you that a handgun gunshot wound has a very straight and narrow trajectory through your body. And if it doesn't hit an artery or your heart, if we get to you in time, there's a good chance that we're going to be able to save your life. When an AR-15, high impact, high velocity exit wound is as big as an orange, when that goes through your body, it doesn't matter where it enters, the weight that it creates destroys your organs and your vessels and your arteries, and you're gone before anyone can get to you. And so a Vietnam-era veteran in Wichita Falls at a town hall a week ago said, I was carrying an AR-15 45 years ago. Only my AR-15, the magazine that I had 20 rounds. This 19-year-old in Florida had an AR-15 with 30 rounds. He was better armed, more deadly than I was in the battlefields of Vietnam, in the jungles where I was fighting for my life, for my country, and against those who were trying to kill me. I think that this state, with its proud heritage of gun ownership and gun safety, we have guns to hunt, for sport, for self-defense, for collection, and all of that's fine, and we do a great job by and large with that, could be the state that surprises the country and leads the way by saying that none of our fellow citizens should have an AR-15, should be able to take a gun designed for war and killing people on the battlefield into churches and schools and concerts and town halls like this one. I know that this may not poll well in Texas, and it's why we don't have a pollster on the campaign. I know that the NRA may not be excited about this. It's why I don't take a dime from the NRA. But I know that we could begin saving the lives of our fellow Texans, our fellow Americans. And last thing, because I see some moms who demand action, wearing these great Moms Demand Action red t-shirts, moms who lost their children to gun violence in our state, in this country. Here's something they shared with me. This is why I do these town hall meetings, and these are the kind of things I learn. In those states, and we're not one of them, that have adopted universal background checks. You see a 50% reduction in gun violence against law enforcement. Fewer cops and sheriff's deputies being shot by the people that they were sworn to serve and protect. A 50% reduction in gun violence against an intimate partner. Few girlfriends being shot by their boyfriends in those states. Here is something that we can lead on, and I want to follow the lead of Moms Demand Action. We love you and what you do for this state and our country and this campaign. So thank you for being here. I see a few of you out here.